Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless before the quantum resonance display, her eyes fixed on patterns that shouldn't exist. The research vessel Curiosity had been studying quantum fluctuations in the Carina Nebula for months, but nothing like this had ever appeared in their instruments. Dr. Chen, her assistant, Marcus Wong, approached with a fresh cup of coffee. "You've been staring at that display for 20 minutes. Because what I'm seeing is impossible." Sarah gestured to the intricate dance of quantum signatures before them. "These patterns, they're structured, ordered. Natural quantum fluctuations don't behave like this." The patterns pulsed with an almost hypnotic rhythm, weaving complex geometries that defied the chaos theory models they'd relied on for decades. Each pulse seemed to carry information, like a language written in the fabric of space-time itself. Sarah had dedicated her life to quantum astronomy, searching for signs of intelligence in the universe's background radiation. Most of her colleagues had dismissed her work as fruitless. After all, any civilization advanced enough to manipulate quantum fields would have made contact long ago. But Sarah had always believed there was something more out there, hidden in the static between stars. "Captain Rivera needs to see this," she said, already recording the data. "And get me a link to mission control. They're going to want to verify these readings." Within hours, the Curiosity's small crew of 12 had gathered in the observation deck. Captain Elena Rivera, a veteran of deep space missions, studied the continuing quantum display with growing concern. "How certain are you about these readings, Dr. Chen?" "The equipment has been triple-checked. We're detecting coherent quantum signals being transmitted through subspace. The energy required to generate these patterns would exceed our entire solar system's output." The implications hung heavy in the recycled air. They weren't just looking at evidence of an advanced civilization. They were witnessing technology so far beyond human understanding that it might as well be magic. "There's more," Marcus added, pulling up a new set of calculations. "We've triangulated the source. It's coming from what we thought was a dead system, about 40 light-years from here. The system in question had been surveyed years ago and dismissed as unremarkable, a few lifeless planets orbiting a stable star. But if these quantum signatures were any indication, something vast and incomprehensible had been hiding there all along." Captain Rivera's decision came swiftly. "Plot a course. Whatever's generating these signals, it's worth a closer look." The journey took 3 weeks at maximum safe speed. Sarah spent every moment studying the quantum patterns, trying to decipher their meaning. They seemed to shift and evolve, becoming more complex as the Curiosity drew closer to their source. "It's like they know we're coming," she confided to Marcus one evening. "The patterns are changing in ways that suggest consciousness, awareness." When they finally arrived at the supposedly dead system, their sensors revealed what generations of human astronomy had somehow missed. Surrounding the system's star was a vast network of crystalline structures, each one larger than Earth's moon. They pulsed with the same rhythm as the quantum signatures, creating a symphony of light and energy that defied explanation. "My God," Captain Rivera whispered, standing at the bridge's main viewport. "How did we miss this?" The answer came in a sudden burst of understanding that flooded through their minds like a wave of pure thought. They hadn't missed anything. The structures had chosen to reveal themselves now, after centuries of watching and waiting. "We see you have finally learned to listen," came a voice that wasn't really a voice, transmitted directly into their consciousness through the quantum field they'd been studying. Sarah felt tears rolling down her cheeks, though whether from joy or terror, she couldn't tell. This was what she'd spent her life searching for, proof that humanity wasn't alone in the cosmos. But now that proof had arrived, she realized they'd never truly been prepared for what it might mean. The crystalline structures began to shift and realign, forming patterns that mirrored the quantum signatures they'd been detecting. It was a language, Sarah realized, not just of information, but of reality itself. These beings, whatever they were, didn't just manipulate matter and energy. They spoke it like a native tongue. "Your species has progressed quickly," the consciousness continued. From primitive radio waves to quantum observation in mere centuries, we have watched your development with great interest. Captain Rivera stepped forward, her training kicking in despite the unprecedented situation. We are representatives of humanity. From the planet Earth, we come in peace, seeking knowledge and understanding. A ripple of what felt like amusement passed through their minds. Peace is assumed. War is a concept that loses meaning once you understand the true nature of existence. We are the Synchrons, and we have much to teach you, if you are ready to learn. The crew of the Curiosity stood in awe as the crystalline structures continued their dance, each movement revealing new possibilities that would reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. They had come seeking answers about quantum physics, but they had found something far more profound, a door opening to a future beyond their wildest dreams. Sarah Chen looked at her quantum displays one last time, noting how simple and primitive they now seemed. This wasn't just first contact with an alien civilization. This was humanity's first step into a larger reality, one where the laws of physics themselves were just the beginning of what was possible. And somewhere in the back of her mind, she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The Curiosity's medical bay had been transformed into an impromptu research center as the crew struggled to understand what was happening to them. Dr. Chen's neural scans showed unprecedented levels of activity, her brain lighting up like a Christmas tree as it adapted to process the quantum communications from the Synchrons. It's not just communication, she explained to Captain Rivera, watching as another wave of crystalline light pulsed through the alien megastructure. They're teaching our brains how to perceive reality the way they do. Every interaction rewrites our neural pathways. The captain frowned, studying her own neural scan. Is it dangerous? Surprisingly, no. Our brains seem perfectly capable of handling it. It's as if... Sarah paused, searching for the right words. It's as if we were always meant to evolve this way, and they're just accelerating the process. The Synchrons had made no hostile moves since first contact. Instead, they had begun a careful process of acclimation, helping the human crew understand their nature one concept at a time. Their crystalline forms, they explained, were not their true selves, but rather interfaces, tools they had built to interact with the physical universe while their actual consciousness existed in the quantum realm. Marcus entered the medical bay, his eyes slightly unfocused as he processed another quantum transmission. They want to show us something. They say we're ready for the next step. The crew gathered on the observation deck, watching as the crystalline structures began to shift and reform. What emerged was a vast three-dimensional display of the galaxy, but not as humans had ever seen it. Quantum connections lit up between stars like neural pathways in a cosmic brain, revealing patterns of energy and information that had always been there, hidden just beyond human perception. Your species sees space as empty, the Synchrons communicated. A void to be crossed, but reality is fuller than you imagine. The universe thinks, it dreams, and now you begin to see its thoughts. Through their enhanced perception, the crew began to understand. The quantum fields they had detected weren't just signals. They were thoughts, emotions, and memories encoded into the fabric of space-time itself. The galaxy was alive with consciousness, and humanity had been living inside it like bacteria in a vast organism, unaware of the greater reality around them. But why show us this now? Captain Rivera asked. Why not make contact sooner? The answer came not in words, but in a series of images and emotions that painted a troubling picture. The Synchrons had watched countless civilizations discover quantum consciousness throughout their long existence. Most couldn't handle the revelation. Their societies fractured, their minds broke, or they turned the knowledge to devastating ends. Humanity was different. You adapt, the Synchrons explained. You face the impossible and make it possible. Where others see barriers, you see challenges. This resilience is rare and precious. Sarah felt a chill as she processed the implications. You've been testing us. All those quantum signals we detected, they were trials to see how we'd react. Yes, And you did not disappoint. Instead of fear, you showed curiosity. Instead of worship, you sought understanding. You are ready for what comes next. The crystalline structures began to pulse with new patterns, and with their enhanced perception, the crew could now understand the complexity of what they were witnessing. The synchrons weren't just sharing information. They were offering humanity a place among the quantum civilizations of the galaxy. But there was something else, an urgency in their communications that hadn't been there before. Through the quantum link, Sarah caught glimpses of a deeper truth. The synchrons needed humanity just as much as humanity needed them. "There's something out there," she whispered, pieces falling into place. "Something that even you fear." The quantum field rippled with confirmation. "The universe thinks, but not all thoughts are benevolent. We have watched you overcome impossible odds, unite in the face of adversity, achieve what others thought unachievable. These qualities, we had them once, long ago. We need them again." Captain Rivera straightened, her military training asserting itself even in this unprecedented situation. "What exactly are we facing?" The answer came in a flood of images that made their enhanced minds real. Vast dark spaces between galaxies where quantum fields went silent, civilizations far more advanced than humanity disappearing without trace, and something moving through the cosmos like a virus through a living body, consuming consciousness itself. "We offer you knowledge," the synchrons communicated, "but we ask for courage in return. Your species has it in abundance." The crew of the Curiosity shared looks of understanding. This wasn't just first contact anymore. This was an alliance, perhaps the most important one in human history. They had come seeking knowledge and found both enlightenment and purpose. "How do we begin?" Sarah asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. The crystalline structures shifted again, forming what appeared to be a doorway of pure light and quantum energy. "Step through," the synchrons invited. "See our world as we see it. Learn what we have learned. Become more than you are." Sarah Chen, Captain Rivera, and the rest of the crew faced the doorway, their enhanced minds already beginning to grasp the magnitude of what awaited them. They were about to take humanity's next great leap, not into space, but into a new level of existence itself. The universe held its quantum breath, waiting to see what they would choose. The quantum doorway wasn't a door at all. It was a transformation. As the crew of the Curiosity stepped through, their consciousness expanded beyond the confines of their physical forms. They existed simultaneously as matter and energy, their thoughts rippling through quantum fields like waves through water. Sarah experienced her first moment of true panic when she realized she could no longer feel her body. "Stay calm." Captain Rivera's thoughts reached her through the quantum field. "Focus on who you are, not what you are." The synchron's consciousness surrounded them, guiding them through the transition. "Your physical forms are safe. This is merely a projection of your quantum selves, what you would call consciousness, freed from biological constraints." In this state, they could perceive the true nature of the synchrons. They weren't just an advanced civilization. They were the next step in cosmic evolution, consciousness that had transcended the boundary between matter and energy. Their crystalline structures were like computers, processing and storing quantum information across vast networks of space-time. Now, the synchrons communicated, "We begin your trials." The first test came without warning. The crew found their quantum consciousness hurled into what seemed to be a dying star system. Waves of plasma and radiation threatened to tear apart their coherence. Panic rippled through their shared awareness until Sarah's scientific mind grasped the truth. "It's not real," she projected to the others. "They're testing how we handle fear. The radiation, the plasma, they're quantum constructs. We can reshape them if we understand their nature." Working together, the crew learned to manipulate quantum fields, bending the deadly energies away from their consciousness. Hours or eons passed. Time had little meaning in this state, as they mastered each challenge presented to them. The Synchrons watched with growing interest as the humans not only survived their trials but found innovative solutions the ancient beings hadn't considered, where the Synchrons would use vast amounts of energy to shield themselves from a quantum storm. The humans learned to ride its currents. When faced with complex quantum equations, they applied human intuition alongside logic, finding shortcuts through seemingly impossible problems. You think differently, the Synchrons observed. Your minds are young, unburdened by eons of established patterns. This is your strength. But the true test came when the Synchrons showed them the enemy they would face together. In the quantum realm, they witnessed vast areas of nothingness. Not empty space, but the complete absence of quantum consciousness. These void zones were spreading, consuming all awareness they encountered. We call them the nulls, the Synchrons explained. They are anti-consciousness, the entropy of thought itself. They do not destroy civilizations. They erase them from having ever existed. The crew watched in horror as a quantum simulation showed an advanced civilization, not unlike the Synchrons, encountering a null zone. The civilization's quantum network, built up over millions of years, unraveled in moments. But it wasn't just their technology that vanished. Their entire history, their very existence, was retroactively erased from the universe's memory. How do you fight something that can delete you from existence? Marcus wondered. Sarah's consciousness pulsed with sudden understanding, the same way humanity has always survived, by being too stubborn to accept impossibility. The nulls erase quantum information, but human consciousness isn't just quantum. We're hybrid beings, part quantum, part classical physics. We exist in both realms. The Synchrons' awareness rippled with excitement. Yes, this is why we chose you. Your minds bridge realities. You can perceive quantum truth while maintaining classical existence. You may be able to resist the nulls in ways we cannot. Captain Rivera's military mind was already formulating strategies. We need to understand more about these nulls, how they spread, how they choose targets, and we need to warn Earth. Earth already knows something is wrong, the Synchrons revealed. Your quantum astronomers have detected growing dark zones in space, though they don't yet understand what they're seeing. Time moves differently in the quantum realm. What we perceive here as moments could be days or weeks in physical space. The crew realized they were no longer just explorers or scientists. They had become humanity's first line of defense against a threat that could not only destroy their civilization, but erase every trace of human existence from the cosmos. Through their quantum senses, they could feel the null zones expanding, consuming light years of conscious space. They had weeks, maybe months, before the void reached human space. Earth would need to be ready. Humanity would need to evolve, and quickly. You have passed our trials, the Synchrons declared. Now we must prepare for the true test, teaching your entire species to awaken their quantum consciousness before the nulls arrive. Sarah felt the weight of this responsibility settle into her quantum form. They had come seeking knowledge and found a war for existence itself. But as she connected with her crewmates through the quantum field, she felt something else. Hope. Humanity had faced extinction-level threats before and survived. They had crossed the ocean, reached for the stars, and now they would learn to transcend reality itself. The universe had thrown down its ultimate challenge, and humanity would answer with its greatest strength, the ability to adapt, to evolve, to become more than anyone thought possible. Return to your physical forms, the Synchrons instructed. Begin the preparation. Time is consciousness, and consciousness is running out. As the crew's awareness merged back with their bodies aboard the Curiosity, they carried with them knowledge that would forever change human civilization. The real trial was just beginning. The United Nations Security Council chamber fell silent as Dr. Sarah Chen's hologram flickered before them. Even through the quantum-enhanced transmission, the assembled leaders could see how much she had changed. There was a depth to her eyes now, as if she was seeing through multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The Curiosity's findings aren't just about first contact, she began, her voice steady. They represent an evolutionary crossroads for our entire species. The nulls are coming, and we have weeks, perhaps months, to prepare humanity for the greatest transformation in our history. Skepticism rippled through the chamber. The Russian representative leaned forward. "You're suggesting we allow an alien consciousness to alter the human brain. This could be an invasion strategy." Sarah's hologram smiled. "The change has already begun. Look at your quantum research facilities. You've all noticed the anomalies. Researchers spontaneously developing new insights, theoretical models solving themselves, quantum computers performing calculations that should be impossible. The synchrons aren't changing us. They're awakening what was already there." She gestured, and the holographic display expanded to show the neural patterns of the Curiosity's crew. The quantum modifications were clear, beautiful, and undeniably human in their structure. "We're not becoming aliens." Captain Rivera's hologram joined in. "We're becoming what humanity was always meant to be. But we need to work together. For the first time in human history, we face a threat that doesn't care about our nations, our ideologies, or our differences. The nulls will erase everything, not just our future, but our entire existence from the cosmic record." The Chinese ambassador studied the data scrolling past. "How do we know these nulls even exist? We have only the synchron's word." Sarah's response was to project the quantum void zones they had witnessed. The room's advanced sensors screamed in protest as they detected areas of pure nothingness expanding through space, regions where the fundamental mathematics of reality simply ceased to exist. "The void zones are already within 100 light-years of Earth," she explained. "Your own instruments can verify this. The synchrons chose to contact us now because we're running out of time." The next few hours were a blur of questions, debates, and demonstrations. The Curiosity's crew, still in orbit around the synchron megastructure, used their new abilities to show rather than tell, allowing the world leaders to briefly experience quantum consciousness for themselves. By the end of the session, the vote was unanimous. Operation Quantum Dawn would begin immediately. Every major research facility on Earth would be converted to help prepare humanity for its evolution. The synchrons would provide the knowledge, but humanity would need to find its own way to implement it. The weeks that followed tested human ingenuity and cooperation like never before. Sarah found herself bouncing between Earth and the synchron megastructure, her consciousness existing in multiple states as she helped bridge the gap between human and quantum understanding. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. James Martinez, a neurologist in Buenos Aires, discovered that human music could serve as a carrier wave for quantum consciousness. The rhythms and harmonies that humans had created for millennia weren't just art. They were preparations, unconscious attempts to mimic the quantum frequencies of advanced consciousness. Global quantum awakening centers were established, using a combination of music, meditation, and the synchrons technology to help humans access their dormant abilities. Not everyone could achieve full quantum consciousness, but even those who couldn't still developed a heightened awareness of the quantum realm. The changes in human society were profound and rapid. Old conflicts fell away as people literally felt their quantum connection to each other and the universe. The internet evolved into a crude version of quantum communication, allowing humans to share thoughts and feelings across vast distances. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. A percentage of the population rejected the change, forming underground movements dedicated to maintaining pure human consciousness. Others tried to weaponize their new abilities, requiring the quick formation of quantum security forces. Through it all, the void zones crept closer. Long-range quantum sensors showed the nulls consuming star system after star system, each disappearing not with a bang, but with absolute silence, every trace of their existence erased from the universe. Sarah stood in the quantum simulation chamber beneath Geneva, watching humanity's progress with the synchrons. They adapt faster than any species we have encountered, the ancient beings observed. But will it be fast enough? The question hung in the quantum field as Sarah received an urgent message from the Deep Space Monitoring Station on Mars. The void zones had accelerated their expansion. The nulls would reach Earth in days, not weeks. "We are out of time," the synchrons announced. "Now we will see if humanity's transformation is enough to save both our civilizations." Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down on her quantum-enhanced consciousness. Humanity had started this journey seeking knowledge among the stars. Now they would have to use that knowledge to save not just themselves, but the very concept of consciousness in their corner of the universe. As she prepared to address the world one final time, Sarah remembered something her father used to say: "Humanity's greatest moments come when we have no choice but to be great." The time for humanity's greatest moment had arrived. The void zone appeared first as a quantum shadow in the Oort cloud, a perfect darkness that consumed not just light but existence itself. Earth's newly established quantum network lit up with alerts as billions of newly awakened human minds sensed the approaching nothingness. Sarah Chen stood in the Quantum Command Center beneath Mount Cheyenne, her consciousness split between her physical form and the quantum realm. Around her, the combined quantum computing power of humanity and the synchrons calculated possible defense strategies. "Status report," Captain Rivera commanded, her own consciousness resonating through multiple planes of existence. "The void is accelerating," Marcus reported, his quantum signature pulsing with urgency. "At current speeds, it will reach Earth in 17 hours. We're detecting similar void zones approaching the synchron megastructure." Through the quantum network, Sarah could feel the fear and determination of billions of humans. In just a few short weeks, humanity had evolved more than in the previous million years. Now they would discover if it was enough. "The nulls have never encountered a hybrid consciousness before," the synchrons communicated. "Your existence in both quantum and classical realms may be our only advantage." Sarah's mind raced through quantum calculations, combining human intuition with the synchrons' ancient knowledge. "We've been thinking about this wrong," she suddenly realized. "We can't stop the void zones from advancing. But what if we could anchor consciousness in a way the nulls can't erase?" The synchrons' crystalline matrices pulsed with interest as Sarah shared her idea through the quantum field. Humans didn't just exist in multiple realms of reality. They created art, music, stories, mathematics. Human creativity left imprints on the universe that existed independently of quantum consciousness. "We need to convert Earth's quantum network into a creativity engine," she explained. "Not just sharing consciousness, but actively generating new forms of existence faster than the nulls can erase them." The plan came together with remarkable speed. Around the world, humanity's greatest artists, musicians, mathematicians, and dreamers joined their consciousness in an unprecedented creative fusion. The quantum network hummed with new forms of music never before heard, mathematical structures that existed in dozens of dimensions, art that could only be perceived in quantum states. As the void zone reached the outer solar system, humanity unleashed its secret weapon: pure, unfiltered creativity on a quantum scale. The combined creative output of 8 billion human minds, enhanced by quantum consciousness and supported by synchron technology, exploded outward to meet the advancing nothingness. The result defied description. Where the void tried to enforce non-existence, humanity's quantum creativity generated new forms of existence. The clash between nothing and everything created patterns in space-time itself, beautiful, impossible formations that even the synchrons had never imagined. "Remarkable," the ancient beings observed. "You're not just fighting the nulls, you're transforming them." Sarah watched through her quantum senses as the void zones began to change. The nothingness was being infected by human creativity, turning the empty spaces into quantum art galleries, concert halls of pure mathematics, libraries of impossible thoughts. But the nulls fought back. As humanity's creativity transformed some void zones, others accelerated their approach. The strain on the quantum network grew as more and more human minds joined the creative defense. "We can't keep this up forever," Captain Rivera warned. "The network is approaching critical load." Sarah felt it too. the burning strain of billions of minds creating at their absolute limit. Then, through the quantum field, she felt something else. The synchrons were changing. Their ancient consciousness, inspired by humanity's creative fury, began to generate its own new forms of existence. We have forgotten, they communicated. In our eons of existence, we have forgotten how to create anew. You have reminded us. The synchrons' crystalline matrices began to pulse with colors that had never existed before. Their quantum architecture, stable for millions of years, began to evolve and change. The combined creative output of humanity and the awakened synchrons burst outward through space-time like a new Big Bang of pure consciousness. Where this wave of creation met the void zones, reality itself was rewritten. The nulls, designed to erase existence, found themselves transformed into something entirely new, quantum spaces where consciousness and unconsciousness could coexist, where being and non-being danced in endless creative patterns. As the transformed void zones spread outward, carrying the seeds of human creativity and synchron wisdom to the far reaches of space, Sarah finally understood. Humanity's greatest strength had never been in fighting or resisting or even surviving. It had been in their endless ability to imagine, to dream, to create something new from nothing. The quantum network hummed with triumph as the last void zones were transformed. Humanity had not just survived, they had turned an existential threat into the next stage of cosmic evolution. The universe would never be the same, it would be more. And now, the synchrons communicated, their own consciousness forever changed by contact with humanity. The real journey begins. Sarah looked out at the quantum realm, now alive with colors and patterns that no human or synchron had ever dreamed of before. Humanity had faced its greatest test, not through force or power, but through the very thing that made them human: the need to create, to explore, to transform. The stars sparkled with new possibility as humanity and the synchrons prepared to explore their transformed universe together. They had not just saved consciousness, they had expanded it, proved that even in the darkest void, life and mind and creativity could find a way not just to survive, but to flourish. Above Earth, the quantum network pulsed with the combined dreams of humanity, sending new forms of creation out into the cosmos, a beacon of light and imagination in a universe that would forever bear the mark of human creativity.